1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. Prime Minister says execution of Ravi Riverfront Urban Development Project within stipulated timeline is priority of the government. Economic Coordination Committee of the Cabinet has approved the import of 180,000 metric tons of wheat from Russia. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, all parties Hurriyat Conference says India is using brutal tactics to continue its illegal hold and suppress Kashmiris' just struggle for their inalienable right to self-determination. Foreign Office spokesperson has refuted as speculative, baseless and irresponsible a media report claiming Pakistani army fighting alongside Azerbaijani forces against Armenia over Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenia has expressed readiness to work with the European security watchdog on reviewing a ceasefire in Nagorno-Karabakh. UN Secretary General has welcomed announcements of an agreement to launch talks on border demarcation between Lebanon and Israel. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says Ravi Riverfront Urban Development Project will create immense job opportunities and accelerate economic activities. Chairing a review meeting on progress and implementation of the project in Islamabad today, he said execution of project within the stipulated timelines is a priority of the government. The Prime Minister said the Ravi Riverfront Urban Development Project is aimed at uplifting the Lahore city and also meeting its needs in view of growing population and water shortage. Punjab Chief Minister Usman Buzdar told the Prime Minister that the progress in the project is being monitored at highest level as per his vision and priorities. He assured that the deadlines about implementation of the project will be achieved. Punjab Chief Minister Usman Buzdar called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. Development projects in the province were discussed in the meeting. Balochistan Chief Minister Jam Kamal Khan called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. They exchanged views on development projects in the province, especially the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Prime Minister Imran Khan has wished the US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump speedy recovery from COVID-19. In a tweet, he expressed his good wishes for them as President Trump and Melania Trump have been tested positive for the coronavirus. The Economic Coordination Committee of the Cabinet has approved the import of 180,000 metric tons of wheat from Russia on government-to-government basis, waiving of all taxes and levies duties. Advisor on Finance and Revenue, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, chaired the meeting in Islamabad today. The forum was informed that about 5 million tons of wheat is available with the public sector in stocks. In terms of import, 430,000 tons of wheat has already been imported by the private sector and another 1.1 million ton is expected to be imported by the end of December this year. Trading Corporation of Pakistan has already opened a letter of credit for importing over 3 million metric tons of wheat, while the corporation is in the process of tendering another about 1.2 million tons. The ECC also allowed the exemption from sales tax on supply of sugar imported through Trade Corporation of Pakistan of up to 300,000 metric tons. A delegation of a data company, SAP, led by its country director Saqib Ahmed, called on advisor on finance, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, in Islamabad today. He briefed the advisor on the services of the company in 180 countries of the world. Saqib Ahmed gave proposal for the better use of technology they have already provided to Pakistan and suggested measure for better resource management that requires further investments in new technology. The advisor said the government will provide all possible cooperation in this regard. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has urged the international community to put in more effort to achieve the goals set under Beijing Platform for Action on Women's Rights and Freedom. Addressing a virtual meeting on the 25th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women, he said, women's role in social, economic and political spheres is still restricted. The foreign minister said in conflict situations, especially in territories under foreign occupation, they are targeted with impunity and rape, and sexual violence is used as an instrument of subjugation. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi today visited Embassy of Kuwait in Islamabad to offer condolences on the sad demise of Amir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah. The Foreign Minister penned his remarks in the condolence book, terming Amir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah a peace-loving and compassionate ruler. He mentioned that bilateral relations between Pakistan and Kuwait got strengthened during his rule. This is Radio Pakistan. At the United Nations, while praising China's role, Pakistan has said the policies of Beijing are based on principle of UN Charter which support multilateralism and win-win cooperation. Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Munir Akram, speaking at the virtual reception hosted by Chinese ambassador, also lauded China's phenomenal growth, especially in bringing 700 million people out of poverty. Describing Pakistan and China as old and trusted friends and strategic partners, he said, "We are working hard to implement and expand the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a flagship project of Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative." In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, All Parties Hurriyat Conference says India is using every brutal tactic to continue its illegal hold on Jammu and Kashmir. In a statement in Srinagar today, APHC spokesman said fascist Modi government is resorting to strong arm tactics to suppress Kashmiris' just struggle for securing their inalienable right to self-determination. He said India has become a dangerous place for Muslims and other minorities as Modi's policies are intended to disenfranchise millions of Muslims. Meanwhile, an analytical report released by KMS today said that killing of over 95,000 Kashmiris by Indian troops in last 30 years has exposed true picture of Gandhi's ideology of non-violence. Foreign Office has rejected the media reports claiming Pakistan Army fighting alongside Azerbaijan's forces against Armenia over Nagorno-Karabakh. While terming these as speculative, baseless and irresponsible, the spokesperson Zahid Hafiz Chaudhry said Pakistan is deeply concerned over the deteriorating security situation in Nagorno-Karabakh region. He said the intensive shelling by Armenian forces on civilian population of Azerbaijan is reprehensible and most unfortunate. The Foreign Office spokesperson said the Armenia must stop its military action to avoid further escalation. He said Pakistan supported Azerbaijan's position on Nagorno-Karabakh in line with the several unanimously adopted United Nations Security Council resolutions. Armenia has expressed readiness to work with a European security watchdog on renewing a ceasefire in Nagorno-Karabakh. In a statement, Armenia's foreign ministry said the country is committed to a resolution of a conflict through peaceful means. Meanwhile, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan told U.S. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien in a telephonic conversation that a ceasefire would be impossible unless mercenaries and terrorists are removed from Nagorno-Karabakh. Earlier, Nagorno-Karabakh's Defense Ministry reported 54 new military casualties today, taking the death toll among its forces to 158. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has welcomed announcements of an agreement to launch talk on border delineation between Lebanon and Israel. In a statement, his spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric said talks will be hosted by United Nations at the premises of UN Interim Force in Lebanon in Nakora. In Iraq, 3 Daesh militants were killed in government's airstrikes in a rugged area in Baghdad. The airstrikes also destroyed their hideouts. And finally, the weather. Hot and dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, light rain is expected in few districts of Gilgit-Baltistan. Now, few of the headlines once again. Prime Minister says execution of Ravi Riverfront Urban Development Project within stipulated timeline is priority of the government. Economic Corridor Coordination Committee of the Cabinet has approved the import of 180,000 metric tons of wheat from Russia. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.